twilight zone. If you are very strong life, you can play with death. Getting confused with the hands. Spiritual process, yoga means just breaking everything.
Because we
No, no,
have
no,
some
she cannot leave
obligations.
tonight. It'll be going bow like that, like Shruti box.
ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮಾಣಿಕ್ಯದ ದೀಪ್ತಿಯಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮಾಣಿಕ್ಯದ ದೀಪ್ತಿಯಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು. ನುಡಿದರೆ ಸ್ಫಟಿಕದ ಸಲಾಕೆಯಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಸ್ಫಟಿಕದ ಸಲಾಕೆಯಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಲಿಂಗ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿ ಅಹುದಹುದೆನ್ನಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಲಿಂಗ ಮೆಚ್ಚಿ ಅಹುದಹುದೆನ್ನಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿಯೊಳಗಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯದಿದ್ದರೆ, ನುಡಿಯೊಳಗಾಗಿ ನಡೆಯದಿದ್ದರೆ, ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವನೆಂತೊಲಿವನಯ್ಯ, ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವನೆಂತೊಲಿವನಯ್ಯ, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮಾಣಿಕ್ಯದ ದೀಪ್ತಿಯಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮಾಣಿಕ್ಯದ ದೀಪ್ತಿಯಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ, ನುಡಿದರೆ ಮುತ್ತಿನ ಹಾರದಂತಿರಬೇಕು.
जय 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 महादेव, जय 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 महादेव, शिव शंकर आदि अनंत, शिव शंकर आदि अनंत, जय 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 Jaya 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 Mahadeva.
Namaskaram to all of you, wherever you are. So, finally in India, in a week's time, most of the lockdown will be off. Not in Tamil Nadu, not in Maharashtra, not in Mumbai, Chennai, maybe not in Delhi. Well, the number of people infected and the unfortunate number of the fatalities also going up almost everywhere. But there are economic concerns that individual people, society, nation and the world has to take care of. So we have to open up and do things. And also, if you were not very competent with what you're doing, you may just completely forget how to do it if you give you such a long break. And one day it happened, as usual, Shankaran Pillai was complaining about, most people think their boss is stupid. So Shankaran Pillai was complaining how stupid his boss is. Then the wife said, if he was smarter than what he is, you would have lost your job long time ago. So, there are many aspects to life, it has to get back, no matter what consequence, unfortunately. The consequence may not be pleasant for everybody, but inevitably the world has to open up. I think India is opening up judiciously. Fortunately, the high infection areas are limited just to probably some 20 districts in the whole country. Of over 700 districts, only 20 districts are seriously a challenge. So they're cordoning off those districts. Well, the lockdown being released is on one level a psychological release for people, but in terms of economy it can't really burst forth because interstate travel is restricted, inter-district movement is restricted. Goods can move but people cannot move. With all this, I think it's a judicious way of doing it. Simply wildly opening it up could be crazy. It is nice, at least in India, it is not happening because of people's compulsions. I want to have a haircut, I want to have a drink, so I'm going out. No, I don't care what happens to somebody. That is not the way it is happening. To whatever extent we can act responsibly and open it up, to that extent it's happening, it's nice. Well, United States has hit over 100,000, 105,000, and UK is rapidly trying to catch up. For a small country, a small island, I'm sorry, we shouldn't say it, a great island like that, I think they've crossed 40,000, am I right? 40,000? Something like that, near that number. Next only to United States. But South America is catching up big time, irresponsibly. Certain things were done and now they're paying the price. A huge number of fatalities in Brazil and other countries also may catch up. So, in that sense, I would say largely most of the Asian countries have done better than the European nations and the two Americas. Canada, I think, is in control because always there is social distancing out there, I think. It's a big country with small number of people. So, at times like this, where you're walking a certain line, in a way, not knowing what is tomorrow's situation. I must repeat this, that we still don't know what is this virus, what it can do. We know a few things, but we don't know all of it. So, for those of you who do not know what is a virus, it is not even a full-fledged life, it's just a bunch of chemicals with certain genetic material in it. It is not like a creature that it can eat, thrive, reproduce, no. It is just a chemical reaction of certain kind with a little genetic substance. It is half a life. Handling half a life is a little difficult. If it was a full life, we could find out what it is. It is a half a life. So, we have not really figured much about it. There is no clear one scientific voice which says, this is the nature of this virus, this is what it will do, and this is what we can do to it. There is no such voice yet. I don't know how long it'll take. Looking back at the history of virus attacks, major attacks that have happened in the past, well, normally what we are always looking at for reference is the 1918 Spanish flu and somewhere in 1800s another one, and plague and stuff like that. The pandemics, which were not all caused by similar kind of life forms, they were different, but looking at that, even then we did not figure what it is. But somehow after a period of time they died down by themselves or they learned to live with us. Many people who are fighting, after some time learn to live with each other, you know. Just like that, the virus may learn to live with us without causing too much harm to us. A whole lot of people are living with people, not necessarily out of love, but simply because they're not causing too much harm. It's okay. So virus also may become like that, it doesn't cause too much harm. In India, the recovery rate is over 47%, I think, which is probably the highest in the world. Actually, it could be much higher because the number of people tested, among them it's 47. There could be equal number of people who are not tested or more number of people who are not tested, they're just recovering without even going to the doctor. So, our recovery rate is extremely good. Because of that, this easing of the lockdown, a calibrated easing of the lockdown may work pretty well, except in a few cities where the concentration of population is such, and also in many of the cities, the level of pollution and whatever else, their lifestyles and stuff, their immune systems may not be the same as that in smaller towns and in villages and in the yoga center, of course. So, we may come out of this pretty well. I have a gut feeling by mid-September, we will be almost in the normal economic activity in this country. Can't say the same thing about many other nations. But it's just a feeling. I don't have any data to support that feeling. No data is supporting that. But somehow I have a strong feeling by mid-September, things should be almost normal in terms of activity in the country. But without the world getting normal, the country may not get fully normalized because international travel and international import-export of goods, all these things need to happen, otherwise there is no absolute normalcy. But still, in terms of our movement, by September we must be 100% okay in this country, this is my feeling. As I said, there is no any data supporting me right now. Hope that data turns up in the next few weeks. Well, this is the nature of life. You're living strong, but you go to bed and fall asleep. You're like you're dead, you know? You're almost like dead. You think you're living, but actually you're also dying. So there is one dimension of life which is like a twilight zone. This is why, for those who are on the spiritual path, Yogi, Shiva becomes so significant because he is a twilight. Some of our photographers taking pictures of Yogi during the twilight is turning out most fantastic. He himself is twilight. He is there but not there, twilight zone. Absolutely exuberant, intoxicated, twilight zone. A very wonderful, a magical yogi, but crazy man. So twilight zone, you can play twilight zone only if you stabilize your system. If you become in such a way, there is not an iota of compulsion in you, then you can play twilight. Otherwise, if you're not so stable, if you go into twilight zone, you will get sucked into the other one. If you are very strong life, you can play with death. There's enormous excitement in that. Yes, because just see how many impossible things human beings do, dangerous things, just to feel those little butterflies in the stomach, you know. People who jump off mountains, climb mountains, fly, do this, everything that you consider as adventure is actually playing with death. When you play with death and come out successfully, it is called adventure. If you don't come out, people will say you were stupid. That's all. So, if you do something stupid successfully, that is called adventure. If you did something stupid but it did not succeed, then it's just stupid. So everything is black and white when you're looking at life from a certain context. But if you raise yourself a little bit and look at it, everything is twilight. Everything is here and there. These days, you know, with these webinars and conferences, there's a problem. I raise my left hand, my right hand is going up in the screen. Getting confused with the hands, that I thought happens only to the ladies. But I look there, I raise my right hand and my left hand comes up. A very famous song in Telugu people know, Kuda edamaite paripatu ledu. So no problem, if right becomes left, left becomes right, no problem. This is yoga, because yoga means union. There is no this and that, there is only this and this. It's a twilight zone. You're in life, but you're always playing with death. You're super alert, but you're intoxicated. Every dimension of life is within you at the same time. but you have not been taken by any of them. That's an important thing. So as a part of this, I started writing a series of poems called When. And I thought, because now, I'm only a part-time spiritual teacher and a full-time painter, I thought I'll also add a picture to it. Can I have the poem? Can I read it or… no? If you get that one here, I can read. When a man is woman, bird a flower, red is blue, life, death, twilight. Let me read that again. When a man is woman, bird a flower, red is blue, life, death, twilight. Well, when I was young, I've seen some people painting, but I didn't even want to look at it because I thought it was too sissy for me to even sit there and do anything like that. I was into all kinds of other kinds of activity which was challenging in a different way. I thought it's not for me, I'm not saying this in any derogatory way, but I thought it's something that certain people do, largely women will do it because they have that patience to sit down and draw something. I was fine with what's already there in the existence I didn't have to draw it. And I never went to a drawing class or a painting class my drawing books were always empty. I never even ever filled a coloring book in my life. But here I am sitting through the night, virus. So, there are many concerns in one's life, but the greatest concern in one's life should be that you never stepped out of a stupid mold that you put yourself into. That is the worst thing to happen. Whatever that mold is, you never stepped out of it. This means you used the instruments of support and structures which will bring a certain amount of certainty and security as tools of imprisonment. That's what it means. This may be anything. This could be psychological, emotional, physical comforts, psychological comforts, emotional comforts. We create a few structures so that every day you don't have to mess around with everything. That's the idea of creating some stability around us. But if that becomes your prison, that is the saddest story of the lot. Well, you fought, you had a disaster going, disaster happened in terms of your career or your marriage or your whatever, okay? It's okay. But the greatest disaster is, you built your own prison and you never could step out of it. You've always been on a lockdown. Well, that should be the main concern. That is the concern that spiritual process is addressing without creating anarchy. Usually, that concern is addressed by… the hippies addressed this concern, let's break everything. Well, they paid the price and they all went back and again became straitjacketed. Because you can't physically break everything around you. Spiritual process, yoga means just breaking everything, but not externally, internally. Because that's where the problem is and that's where the solution should be. So, twilight zone.
First question is from Sheetal. Namaskaram Sadhguru. I have been in the ashram for 4 months. Thank you so much for the privilege of being locked down in your company. It was an absolutely fantastic time, but now a group of us are leaving tonight. Ashram is one of the safest place on the earth, but now we are forced to go out because we have some
She cannot leave
obligations.
tonight. Can she leave tonight? They can, is it? Anyway, there is a curfew in the town from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. All the night birds, I'm telling you. I think that's across the country or it's just in Tamil Nadu, I'm not sure. Is it across the country? 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew, definitely it's here. I do not know whether it's just in Tamil Nadu or across the nation. Anyway, she
We
can't
need a
live tonight.
pass. There is quite a lot of trepidation in our minds. What can we do to be and feel safe, Sadhguru?
Well, is there a danger out there in the city that you're going to? Definitely. If you're going to one of the 5, 6 major cities in the country, definitely. If you're going to medium-sized cities, it's little better. If you're going to a small town, much better. If you go into your village, you're safe, you don't have to really much bother about it. So if you're going into any of the big cities, is there a danger? Definitely. Well, the very transportation system, either you fly a plane, which is the worst thing to do right now because the air is circulated, or the train, which is little better, but people may be walking all over you. Anybody may get in anywhere. Issues are there. Not everybody is going to maintain their social distance. They're going to sneeze on your face. So we are coming up with some well-designed Isha masks. This is a little different in design, which I'm sure there'll be a lot of debate about it, because it has only one string, no bottom string. Because one of the problems of wearing mask like this tightly is, slowly the oxygen level in your blood will come down over a few weeks of wearing it. Well, that is one of the symptoms of this virus, that you have what is called as hypoxia, your oxygen levels keep going down and you don't know when it's happening and people collapse and die. So, wearing the mask all the time, which is mandatory now. If you step out of the ashram, even inside the ashram it is, but because there's a lot of space, sometimes you may not be wearing. But once you step out on the street, in public places in the country, right now it's mandatory. So we created masks which are long, but only one string, so that your breathing, oxygen levels will not go down. Well, I'm sure some people will argue, there's nothing like that. This is not a mask that you wear if you are going into an infected hospital or something. There you need that N1, what's it, N95 or something, that's a different one. This is a regular mask that from now on may become part of everybody's life in the world, if not every day. This must happen in some societies, it is already so. That is, if you have a cold, you must wear a mask. People will demand from now on, not just because of the virus, even if the virus goes away. If you have little cold, cough, you must wear a mask. This could become the way of the world in future. So, we have designed nice masks for you. It is long so that you can breathe, and if you sneeze, it's within your own confines, you're not sneezing on anybody. If they sneeze also, it is there. Can the virus go like this? Of course it can. But even if you're wearing two, if the concentration of… if it's a very saturated kind of infected place like a hospital, then this mask also is not going to help. So largely assuming you're only going in workplaces, managing social distance at home, or you're just taking a walk on the street, this mask will serve you quite well and they're comfortable to wear. Many designs we've made for you, you can wear that. But still, one important thing, and the only thing actually that we know is, those who have strong immune system will survive, those who don't have will be affected by this, that's a clear thing. We don't know anything else about the virus except that one thing. So for that one thing, how to boost? One thing is you must keep your practice, which is the biggest thing, that your immune system will be very high, we have sufficient… I don't know if you watched this talk with this Harvard, researchers from the Harvard Medical School and what is that? What's the name of the hospital? Another…
Beth Israel. Beth Israel.
Okay. Beth Israel Medical Center, both of them have researched on the Isha Yoga practices and they have manifested what is happening at that level where the inflammatories and other BDNF and other markers are clearly showing the immune levels are much, much higher for people who are doing the practices. So at least now, it may happen in the world that people actually practice. I'm not saying you're not practicing, you are. Actually, we may have the highest level of retention in terms of doing practices in the world for any large organizations teaching out there. So, everybody should keep the practice. But there is one more thing that we are making, it'll… because of lack of skilled workers who have been absent for some time, who are now coming in slowly, we are creating what is called as a kavach or kavacham. This is done with the science of what is called as rasa vaidya. It is the Indian alchemy, and it is done in a certain way that you can actually wear this bracelet on your arm. They come in different sizes. If you were wearing it where it can be seen, it's a small size, but if you want to wear it on your cuff muscle or something, or you can wear this during the daytime, when you go to sleep you can wear the big one so that it is in contact. It is done with the science of rasa yoga, rasa vaidya, and it's a consecrated piece. Definitely it will boost your immune system. I know there will be lots of arguments about it. See, it's like this. For example, in Karnataka, in the villages, people 100% see it this way, because in the villages there is no vegetable market or anything. People go out and pluck some greens, always there is some legumes or lentils. Greens, legumes and lentils, and ragi as a cereal. If you eat these three things, you will live for 100 years. This kind of thing. Now, somebody will argue, where is the proof? People have lived. People who have lived, eaten like that, simple nourishment, they have lived very long. But today we've gotten into this, what we know for 1,000 years that works, it has to be proved in a laboratory. Which laboratory? it has to be in one of the major universities in United States. Even if it happens Europe, we don't listen anymore. It has to come from United States. Only then it is true. Ragi, green leaf, legumes and lentils, and working in the field, you will live long. No proof till they study 5 people in some major university and tell you, yes, it is so. But it'll take 10, 12 years or 25 years. By then, you would have eaten all the bad food and you're gone. So, there will be arguments about it, but I've already experimented with this with a small group of people and it's worked incredibly well. Well, I did not need any proof because I know it works for me. Today I'm alive because of that. Because when all the doctors said I won't last more than a few months, when they said 100% you cannot survive this, well, here I am. They look okay. Actually, if you had seen me 20 years ago, post-Dhyanalinga, how I was and how I am today, I am at least 20 years younger, not 20 years older. So will it work? It'll definitely work. How effectively you use it? In the daytime, you can use a little one, because otherwise it may look odd wearing a long copper one. Or you could wear it in your cuff muscle where people cannot see. Or in the night you can wear a long one, in the daytime you can wear a little one. So if you're going out, particularly to big cities, this kavacham will make a phenomenal difference for you. This should be ready in terms of… we already have many, but it should be ready for people in large numbers, probably in a week or 10 days' time, most probably. Let us… right now, they're saying June 8th is when really next step of relaxation happens. June 15th is when it's set, but in Tamil Nadu it's 21 days. I think entire country, it's 21 days, step-by-step relaxation. In 21 days, definitely it'll be available in large quantities. So, it will be only given first come, first served basis, so if you need it, you book it. We don't know what the costs are right now, it shouldn't cost too much, but there is a lot of work involved in that, so there will be some cost, but it shouldn't cost too much. So we don't know what it'll cost, only when we mass produce it, we will know what it will cost. Because this is the first time it's being done. What we had done earlier were much more expensive because they were heavy and they were made in a certain way. Now we worked on the design and made it very light and easy to wear. So this kavacham could give you that confidence to go into Mumbai. The vibrant Mumbai, unfortunately, has become the hotspot.
The next question is from Runjun. Namaskaram Sadhguru. We are in middle of a big crisis and government, citizen, everyone is trying their best. But at the same time, some people have filed petition against government to levy 70% special corona fee on liquor. I'm a lawyer and I want to know if you think government is right in their actions.
They have filed petitions because they don't want to pay that 70% extra levy. Oh. See, if you're consuming something on a regular basis, whatever it is, this is not a moral judgment on people. Whatever it is, if it costs too much, you will complain. It's natural for them to complain. But now the problem is the state governments, they don't have any revenue, but they have to run the services. All of us expect the services to happen, but we are behaving as if we are not a democratic nation. We want this service in place. But who's going to pay for it? Where is the money? We're not thinking about it. This is like some teenage children will be there. I don't care where you get it from, I just want it. We are still juvenile like this. When it comes to democracy, we are actually very juvenile. We don't understand that we have a role in making it happen. We think you just do it, you got elected, right? You do it. That's not the way to look at it. At the same time, there is another aspect to this. Because there is a virus, because there is danger and death all around us, the government will slowly, incrementally start coming into our life more and more and more. This is not just the government. Many major companies in the world are also getting into our life more and more and more. If I open my phone, the damn Google is putting my own talks to me. Because many videos are coming to me for approval and things like that, I'm looking at it, or maybe it's recognizing my face. So all the time, inner engineering online is coming to me. I'm humble enough, every time I see the ad, I think about it, do I need it? Do I need… Oh, you don't know who needs it. This happened. Shankaran Pillai's wife took to horse riding because she wanted to lose weight. So after 3 months of horse riding, a friend of Shankaran Pillai who came home and asked her, "Where's your wife?" She said, "He's gone horse riding, she wants to lose weight, so 3 months she's been riding." "Oh, has she managed to lose weight?" "Well, the horse has lost 20 kilograms." Somewhere weight loss is happening. Life works in many ways, you know. So, all these technology companies are getting into your life. They know what music you like, they know you need inner engineering. Like this, everybody is incrementally trying to get into your life, get into your life, get into your life. When there is death and danger around us, we will allow it. I think, as citizens of this nation and this world, we must keep account of all the incremental encroachments that have happened into our life during the virus era. And the moment this virus is over, whenever that is, first thing we must do is that these things must be taken back. Right now in certain countries, I'm not supposed to name them, in certain countries, right now they're tagging people for temperature monitoring. Not only if you're entering an airport or a place, right now everywhere they're showing the guns, temperature guns. At least they're not putting a rectal thermometer into you wherever you go. You must be lucky for that technology, you know. So, they are now looking at how to tag every citizen so that your temperature is monitored. If your temperature goes up, immediately people will come to your house and check whether you're COVID or not. Well, once they know your temperature, they can just know everything about you and they can even control the temperature after some time. Yes, they can. So lots of liberties that we have fought for, lots of individual freedom that in every nation, in their own way, people have fought for and earned something, all that may get wiped out with the virus. So in every nation, the citizens, the responsible citizens of every nation should keep account of all the encroachments that are happening. Don't protest now, don't create problems now, because government has an onerous job on its hands, both in terms of maintaining health, limiting fatalities, and maintaining the economic process, above all maintaining essential services without any revenue attached to it. That's not a simple challenge. So we should not protest and struggle and give speeches on this right now. Right now it's all right, they will enter our lives. But we must keep account, and moment this virus is over, we must see these things are pushed back, at least to where it was. This is an important responsibility of every citizen of every nation in the world. We must take care of this, otherwise we will become the animal farm. You know what I'm talking about? George Orwell's Animal Farm. I know, you're not immersed in literature, it's okay. So, where slowly monitoring, they want to know your heartbeat. Already lot of people have given it up, they're wearing tags around their thing, their heartbeat is being monitored. Well, you may think this is safe, and it may be safe, your heart goes like that immediately, one cardiac specialist will come and see you or call you or do something, well, you may live little longer, but this can go to any length. Once there is, a dip into your life, then not just your heart, your brain also they can control after some time. So it's very important at a time like this, nobody should cause problems, because the responsibility and the onerous task that any government has right now is not enviable. It is a terrible responsibility. So at this time, please don't raise any of these things, but when it's over, we must push back. About 70% levy upon alcohol, because they know that's the only thing you will buy. If they knew that you will all register for inner engineering online, maybe they would have levied it. No, we have given 50% discount. But they know anyway you will queue up for alcohol, they're levying it, they need money. It's as simple as that. So that's not a thing to protest or cry about right now, because you can't tax the food, people need food and they don't have enough money. Everything else that's considered essential cannot be taxed, actually it has to be relaxed, because people are in trouble with their personal economics. For families, little families, the economics are real trouble right now. Food and nourishment problems are not only for migrant labor and very poor people. Middle-class families will start having nourishment problems in the next month or so if they don't get back to their jobs. Already it's happening, but it will rise. Like how very poor people have nourishment problems, middle class and reasonably well-to-do will also get there very soon, within 4 to 8 weeks' time. So this is not a time to tax the food, to tax anything that is absolutely essential for people's survival. The only thing that they can tax is those things that they feel is non-essential. But the drinking people, they feel it's absolutely essential. I don't want to dispute, I don't want to get into the dispute, I am not in this. But right now, among the items that we can tax, we can only tax those things that even if you tax, somebody will anyway buy it, only that you can tax. If you tax something that if you tax it too much, nobody will buy, that is no good, that's not good for revenue. So, a little expensive intoxication, if you want easy, no expense intoxication, you must come to me. But you know, this intoxication, I'll squeeze your life, you have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but no tax.
Namaskaram Sadhguru. How do I break my Ronana Bandha with my parents once they have passed? Would someone else performing the Kala Bhairava karma take care of my Ronana Bandha even if I am unable to participate?
Wow. We have spoken about this in the past, but I don't know when, where, how long ago, so let me repeat a few things. Your Runanubandha with your parents or with your children is strongest till you're 21 years of age. Once you cross 21 years of age, it is called as the first quarter. In the yogic way of looking at it, 84 is the cycle of life. The first quarter is 21. Up to 21, if you lose a parent or if you lose a child below 21 years of age, the pain will not just be emotional, it'll be physical. It will manifest in the body because there is a strong Runanubandha. But beyond 21, it is largely psychological and emotional. When we say Runanubandha, what you suffer emotionally or psychologically, that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about physical memories. Bodies have memories. Because what you call as a parent is the basis of this body, there is a very deep memory connection between the two that is at its strongest till 21 years of age. Once you pass that, it is weakened. Is it gone? Not totally gone, weakened. Let us say you're 42 years of age and you're a man. Then you still have a reasonably painful Runanubandha. But let us say you're 42 years of age and you're a woman. Your Runanubandha is almost negligible. Not that it's not there, it's there, but very, very low. So, the suffering that you go through is largely emotional and psychological. If you're psychologically very stable, emotionally balanced, you will see you will handle it quite effortlessly because there is no physical turmoil going on in the system. But the same thing, if they lose their husband, that Runanubandha is physically painful because that is a different type of Runanubandha. I don't want to go into the detailed mechanics of what it is, but if you are over 42 years of age and you are a woman and you lost a parent, this is why in this culture, women are not required to do karmas. Karma is done for the dead, not so much for you. But if you're below 21 years of age, it's very, very important you do it because it's both for the dead and for you. It's very important for you because the person who died, whatever happens, happens. But your life can be in a constant turmoil because there is a physical memory which torments you at a different level. Even if you're mentally stable, emotionally very balanced, still there is a certain torment going within you. A child below 7.5 years of age doesn't have much runanubandha. The mother and father may have enormous runanubandha, but on the other side, there is not much runanubandha. This is not just for psychological reasons. A child below 7.5 years of age doesn't suffer much, doesn't go through the turmoil physically. May suffer because of not being taken care of and, those kind of situations if they are there. So, anyway, how to perform karmas and kriyas for dead if you are not able to physically do something? The simple thing is to go into a 3-day period of sadhana. Here at the yoga center, well, because people are from various backgrounds and various geographical locations, not all of them are they able to go back when their parents die. So when that happens, they will go into 3 days of silence and sadhana to come out completely fresh. Because internally you can do this, beyond a certain age, it is largely for the dead that we are doing it. But there is an element of that, it's not totally gone. Our bodies are never 100% free from the genetic process that we have received from our parentage. There is a way to be above that, but we are not absolutely free. Physical body functions in a certain way. So, just 3 days of withdrawal and a certain type of sadhana, if you don't know anything else, simply just do the Maha Mantra, Om Namah Shivaya intensely for 3 days as much as you can. A minimum of 4.5 hours a day if you do this, you don't have to really bother about that because it's also nice to withdraw, it's a sensitive time, but now deaths and funerals and what happens post-death is all become a social nonsense, that you have to have people at home, you have to serve them drink, you have to serve them food. This… in the Western countries it's become a big thing, even in India, certain kind of thing is building up. It's best that you just withdraw from society and nonsense and spend some private time. When somebody significant in your life passes away, it's important that you withdraw and do something with yourself rather than simply trying to run the social thing like a distraction. This social thing is, people's way of handling their grief is, let's go to the movie, let's read a book, let's watch the television. Don't look for distractions. When there are troubles within us, we must address it head on. Don't look for distractions. Distraction is not a solution. Just one.
This question is from Ramesh. Namaskaram Sadhguru. After inner engineering around 3 years ago, anger has almost disappeared from my life. Other day, I heard you mention that Sadhguru Sri Brahma was so intense that he was always angry. Since that day, I have this question in my mind, am I not intense enough, and are there other people who lose their temper? Are they more intense than me?
During the lockdown period, we are talking after the lockdown, okay? During the lockdown period, it so happened, Shankaran Pillai's wife had gone to her mother's parents' place and she got stuck there and he was stuck in their home. So she called at the end of 2 months and, all these days there were concerns about you whether going to live or die, so it was all about that. But now when she called because she's about to come back, how's the house? Have you kept it well? Shankaran Pillai looked around and said, well, all the house plants are dead. But don't worry, it looks like some are growing in the refrigerator. So, my anger went away and it's nice, but Sadhguru Sri Brahma was angry. Well, his anger was a way of beating himself up because he was on a single-point mission in his life. When somebody has a single-point agenda to their life, well, you look at him, you know pictures here probably, Veerappan will look cute like that. Hope… these days I don't know who is doing this. Definitely I don't think it's from the foundation, but somebody has access to these things and they're putting out all my pictures before Dhyanalinga consecration, where when you have a single-point agenda to your life, you become in a certain way. And people who have single-point agenda, the yogis do these kind of things. They take a bite from a scorpion because they don't want to forget their goal and sleep. One scorpion sting, it'll keep you next 24 hours, bang, you know, the nerves will jangle. Or they will cut their finger and put a lemon on it, it'll pulsate. Have you ever tried it? It'll be going bang like that, like Shruti box, pain. So you're never going to sleep, you're never going to forget what your goal is. So similarly, you can do similar things psychologically. You put a pin into your head so that all the time it's hurting, so that you don't turn here and there. So when people have single-point agenda, different people handle it differently, some people handle it like that. He was not angry with anything, he was simply angry. Simply just like that, which is difficult for you to do. You need a reason to be angry. Somebody should do something that you don't like, only then you're angry. You're not simply angry. And above all, anger is something that costs so much energy. Most human beings cannot be angry intensely for more than 2 minutes. They will dissipate. Intense level, they may maintain rancor, they may maintain resentment. See, whenever you've been angry, just see, it's just few seconds or maybe a minute. After that, you only have maintained resentment. Resentment is sim, anger in sim. It's like a slow poison. Anger is full poison. To stay that way all the time without getting killed is not easy. So this is a certain kind of sadhana. This is coming from a culture which was bred because of an extraordinary situation. Because Adiyogi himself, when he came to Velangiri Hills, he was angry with himself. Because he failed. He's not somebody who likes to fail. He's not used to failure. So when he failed, he was just angry. It took him 3.5 months to cool down a bit. Because of that, he left certain kind of energies and he bred a certain type of yogis who took to the same thing because they're sidekicks, whatever Shiva does, do the same thing. Like a lot of people, because they saw Shiva ash-smeared, they're also head to toe ash-smeared. Because he looked intoxicated and they couldn't get it, so they started smoking. they're just cute. they are so enamored by him, they want to be like him some way. They carry the Trishul, all these things. It's a certain culture which has been bred like this. So, Sadhguru Sri Brahma came from that kind of space, and above all, failure. He did not want his life to deviate for a moment, so he put a pin in his head. So that when there is pain, you can't think of anything else. You can experiment and see. Take just an office pin and stick it. You will see you can't think of anything else. Your whole attention will be right here where you stuck it. So he stuck a pin in his head so that the pain will keep him on it all the time, the pain of failure. Otherwise, when you eat a good meal, you may forget your failure. Life works out well around you, it's a beautiful evening, you'll forget your purpose. So he doesn't want to fail this time, so he put a pin in his head. So he was like that. You know, when somebody's in pain, they very easily get angry also. You're in pain, if anybody touches you, oh! So, even if anybody passed by, because conscious pain created so that no looking here or there, just this. You don't take that as an example, well, I'm here. I can also yell at you if you want, if that's what you like. The important thing is that it's conscious, it's not compulsive. So if you have come out of it and you're missing it, you may get it? Yes? This is the thing about consciousness. I've seen this happening to people around me sometimes. We initiate them into something big energy. In 3 days' time, they will ruin themselves because they have funny ideas, what they can do with it. The moment they feel little like this, they think, we can heal this guy, we can do that, we can manipulate this, that. In 3 days' time, they are totally messed up. Unfortunately, I've seen a few incidents like that, but I must tell you another one, a classic one. Well, there was a girl who had a very serious asthmatic condition. That kind where every 2 weeks she's in hospital for 2 to 3 days, just simply not able to breathe. Probably most healthy people won't understand what is asthma. Right now, I hear this virus is giving that experience. It's like drowning. Your breath is going away, but it doesn't go away. It's like through the night, it'll rake the body. Today there are all kinds of, cortisones and steroids and things, so people are finding relief. Otherwise, if you had seen asthmatic patients 30, 40 years ago, oh my God, I've seen some extreme ones. It'll just go on for hours. Literally they beg, they want to die, but there's no relief. Today, the moment this happens, they will take steroids and stuff, it just quietens down. You don't see people suffering like that anymore. They can easily fix it, there's enough medication. So, extreme case of asthma. Then I saw this girl spiritually fired up, but body not supporting. Then I stepped out of my line and did something with her. Asthma went away. About a year and a half later, she's sharing in a program and she says, I was an asthmatic like this from my childhood and I suffered so much, but now it's gone, last 1.5 years, it's wonderful. And then she says, I'm almost missing it. I was sitting there, I said, what? You missing it? Well, she got it that night. That's how life is. So don't ask for things of that kind. Keeping your vision on one thing that you want is important because as you get empowered in terms of human consciousness, it's very important that you keep the steering wheel straight. Once you have a vehicle which is powered up, big time, if you look here, you'll go and crash there. If you look there, you'll go and crash there. It's better you be a stationary vehicle, as most people are. Yoga Yoga Yogeshwaraya Bhuta Bhuta Bhuteshwaraya Kala Kala Kaleshwaraya Shiva Shiva Sarveshwaraya Shambho Shambho Mahadevaya. Cut off already? It is over. We will continue the weekly satsangs, that means another 2 weeks or 3 weeks.